1,000 embassy cables released last week is still being felt in Washington. What are lawmakers saying? Coming up in our next hour, we're going to ask General Scales about the impact for our troops. Thank you so much. Melanie Wilkes live in Washington. Eric?
Jamie?
U.S. Defense Department Secretary Robert Gates arriving in Oman today, meeting with leaders about tension with Iran over its nuclear program and the terror threat in Yemen. There's a little background on Iran's nuclear ambitions. On February 9th, well, we're definitely closing in on a possible tax hike, and the president is saying he will compromise on extending the Bush-era tax cuts. But only if the deal includes an extension of unemployment benefits. And we're now learning that the vice president held a meeting last night to discuss this very issue, but only with Congressman Kevin Brady, a GOP deputy whip and ranking member of the Joint Economic Committee and the House Ways and Means Committee. Congressman, good of you to be such uncertainty at a time that unemployment is rising. The president says that he will compromise if unemployment benefits are continued, if he gets some limits on the Bush tax cuts, if they don't expire. And one of the things he said is, without the unemployment benefits extensions, especially at the tax cut ramifications for middle-class Americans, without them, he says, taxes would still rise for 95% of Americans. Is that true? Everything seems to be tough right now. We hope it gets done. The committees you sit on give you tremendous insight, and we appreciate you sharing with us today. Thank you. Where will all this money come from? Well, back to our top story this hour as the U.S. braces for a possible doomsday dump of documents from WikiLeaks. There are new questions, and this one seems particularly poisonous. In fact, they're calling it a poison pill. How is the president doing? Tom, for writing this up overnight about how this doomsday dump could happen. This is a little different than the diplomatic dump that we saw, that we had to go into overdrive. We saw Secretary of State Clinton going out and trying to calm this down. This could seriously impact our foreign affairs, but also our military strategy and the safety of our troops. And Julian Assange is using the push to get him into custody and to take down WikiLeaks as the excuse for potentially dumping this, what's being called his insurance file. What about the Secretary of State? How has she done? What can she do in this instance? Well, the economy is really on the forefront of the minds of Americans. It's what's selling the papers because it's what people are interested in. But I hope people realize how important and how critical this issue is, because these are unredacted documents that could put a lot of lives in jeopardy. And congressional hearings will ultimately be held, according to all the research I've seen. Who will be brought up, do you believe, as responsible? We still don't have a source other than Manning, Private Manning, who, if he... All right, well, coming up, we are going to take a deeper look into the next possible WikiLeaks release that we're... Here's a look at some of our top stories. A disabled cargo ship is under tow off the coast of Alaska. We promise, Doc, that's not something we want. Well, the doc wanted to tell you about some new details about breast cancer screening guidelines. Have they changed, Doctor?
No, they haven't.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Only here. Gotta say. Thanks so much, Doctor. Do you have trouble dozing off at night, or do you find yourself staring at the clock at 4? More Sunday House Call for you now. Time now for Myth or Fact. True or false, babies under the age of 2 should not get flu shots? Dr. Rosenfeld, everybody needs their rest. Does the thought of sticking needles into your body to ease pain sound crazy? A new study's results may surprise you. Unbelievable. She was smiling. The doc has the picture in his office of the woman with... Welcome back to Sunday House Call. The doc gets hundreds of emails every week, and he loves them. Many times he'll write you back personally, but we try to do some on the show. And this week we got one about lupus, and the question was, what is lupus? Doctor? Are you worried about, morning breath lasting through the day? Doc, not me, right?
No.
Okay. Well, Dr. Rosenfeld is back with an important Healthy Monday tip. We're all ears. And are we farther from a deal and closer to a week, Doctor?
Thank you.
Doctor,
too.
as always, thank you.
The president is now saying he's willing to compromise, but only with conditions, including the deal must include an extension of unemployment benefits. Caroline Shively with some new reaction. Caroline, do we have a sense of what else Democrats want? What have you heard? What's next? Washington on this breaking and continuing story. Thank you so much.
That.
Developments, Eric, from Iran. Tehran announcing its first uranium delivery on the eve of new nuclear talks. Iran and 6 world powers. Now we go to a new and disturbing threat from WikiLeaks today. Founder Julian Melanie Wilkes, thanks so much. A stunning threat made from Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Warned document dump that we saw last week regarding diplomatic statements and secrets, and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton having to go and approach diplomats around the world. Now this threat of this new document dump. Is Israel affected? Do you have an opinion on what should be done and about WikiLeaks in general? Response on that, I want to ask you a question based on your years of experience at the United Nations with the initial. Now to the new and disturbing threat from WikiLeaks, a so-called doomsday file. Retired Army General Bob Scales, Army Major General Bob Scales. Forgive me, General, because I really want to get started with you. Good to have your insight this morning. Guantanamo Bay. Military airstrike video, new elements to he get it, and how many more like him are out there, do you believe? So I appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jamie.
Oh, it happened again. We did have a few new jobs, but it was a disappointing jobs report nonetheless, sparking new recovery. Joining us now, senior business correspondent Brenda Butner, the anchor of Bulls and Bears. How bad was it, Brenda?
It was
this extension of unemployment benefits that the president is saying could be a condition to the continuation of any tax cuts.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brenda, so much.
Thank
Brenda
you.
Butner, good to see you. A Georgia school board at the center of a debate over the separation of church and state. It usually holds. Great to have you with us. We hope you have a great day. We're going to send you to Washington, where the news continues, and a lot of it today. Chris Wallace in the chair. Have a great day. Sure.